Yes.
We're on.
I'd like to open up the Tuesday, June 4th, 2024 Warrenton Board of Alderman meeting. If you would, please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next will be the consent agenda.
We have the regular meeting minutes from May 21st, 2024, and liquor license renewals for 2024-2025 in the amount of $10,627.50.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum. I'm going to go ahead and say seconded by Alderman Romaker. Roll call vote.
Alderman Lang is absent. Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Next, we'll be hearing from the public. If you have anything you'd like to address us, please come to the podium. State your name. We'll give you 5 minutes to speak. Don't let them talk you into it.
Well, thank you all. And thank you for listening to me. I know everybody has workload.
I know we know you, but you just got to say your name.
Okay, Loretta Parks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. I actually retired from the Postal Service, and I owned the Bell Star Theater for 20 years. I've got a few issues that, they've been issues for a long time. I'm not really complaining, but I think sometime it's time to get a closure on it. I have a house that's been partially condemned by the city that butts up against my house. The trees and things are in my gutter, and they fill up, and the water overlaps, and it's ruining my foundation. This thing has been under question for a long time, and I think it's finally should be a decision being made. I'm not really complaining, but I think it's time for action to be taken. And then also, if this was the other thing, my neighbor across the street is no longer there, which was really, I don't know how you would put it, a sad thing, but for a simplification. She had an illness and was in the hospital and had to go to her sister's. Well, she didn't realize in the clause she had a reverse mortgage. Well, she didn't realize they took her house back. Okay, so in the midst of it, whoever is under the administration of that house has had it for several years. And now it's my neighbor, and their grass is growing up probably 3 or 4 foot for over a month. And if I would do that, I would get a ticket. I can't imagine that the process can't be any faster than that. So those are my requests as to what the city is going to do about that.
So I'm going to ask Brandy, because we've been conversing about this.
Absolutely. So I'm going to fast forward to the grass situation that is actually being addressed. Unfortunately, the property management company that was there is been bid out, so they're no longer the property management company anymore. So they have a new one this year. Code enforcement has been very diligent on trying to work and get this taken care of. At first they were talking to him, now they're not talking to him. We actually spoke about this today, and there's a public hearing scheduled for that to take place for an abatement on that one.
So the public hearing is when? A normal person, if they parked on the grass, the city don't like that.
Correct.
Okay, so how long are you going to tolerate some companies with this slowness? when the rest of us try to obey the rules.
So we do have to stay in the confines of the ordinance, and the ordinance usually gives a 30-day notice. So within
Okay.
30 days, even if it extends past that, there are some litigation issues that we have to work through. But, I mean, I think what you're trying to explain is the public hearing is part of that step where we can get it, after we have the public hearing, we can step in and start doing what we need to do to get that cut or maintained
Wow.
as a city, but we have to follow our ordinances. We can't go outside the outside of it.
Wow. And also with the house that is partially condemned, the chimney is within perhaps 6 feet to 8 feet of my property. The chimney is falling and crumbling. I am a widow and I pay to have my grass cut, and I have to talk to my person because sometimes accidents happen, and with the weather, they weaken. It's already started crumbling. And I feel uncomfortable him driving down and cutting my grass when the chimney could be a problem. I mean, we hope that that's not a problem, but I mean, I would be foolish if it's on my heart to think, what if the chimney would crumble the rest of the way? It started on the top. I think that should be of an utmost importance for the taxpayers and the citizens of our great Warrenton. I love Warrenton. I was privileged to have the Bell Star Theater for 20 years, and I was privileged to retire out of Warrenton Post Office. And I know what it is to abide by rules. Rules are good. And I think this has been quite laxy-daisy. So that's what I would like addressed.
But give me 1 sec before you step away. When is the public hearing? I know it's,
Let me check. I don't know that exact date. It was just sent out today
I
for
thought
a
it was like
10-day.
June 19th or something.
6/13.
Yeah, that sounds right, because it's a 10-day notice went out today.
It's
You have to give a
6 what?
10-day notification.
13th. So June 13th is that public notice, or public hearing, I'm sorry.
So
for
the public
for the
hearing is
property.
where, like,
It'll be here, but what time? Do you know?
I believe it's at 9 a.m.
13th?
Yeah, 9 a.m.
Okay.
on the 13th.
I appreciate you.
That's only for the grass across from the
Okay.
street from you. The one next to you, I know we did some research on it and knew it was in litigation for probate. Is that correct?
We had to go through a determination of the property owners for probate to determine notice requirements.
Okay, and we've given them notice?
We are in the process of doing so.
Okay, so how long will they have after notice, just so we know? I mean, I want her to be able to walk away with as much information as she can, because her getting pieced from between Alderman Corder and myself isn't helping her at all, because it's probably not the same information at the same time.
And we've been working on this for a year
Oh,
and a
yeah,
half. so
yeah.
we need to
A
do
long time
something.
they've been working
Yeah.
on it.
Right. So the notice, once it goes out, because we have to identify who the property owners are, and there are multiple possibilities
Right.
because of the probate issue. So we had to identify everybody, even those who are prospective owners. So when we've identified those notices will go out. It'll be approximately 30 days before the hearing will occur.
Probably not the answer you like, but it is an answer for 30 days.
Yeah, yeah. And like I say, it is actually a hazard. I mean, it could be detrimental to people even walking by if there would be a storm or going up and down. I mean, that is really important.
So, can we have one of our people go out there and assess whether it needs to be roped off, or whatever whoever the property owners are? I don't care how many there are. They need to be notified if it is a safety issue. They need to do
It
something
is a
about it
safety issue.
immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying tear down a house. I get
No.
you can't get a crew out there to tear down a house immediately,
No.
but they need to put fencing up or
Yeah.
something to block off the area that could be a hazard. Please.
What I would like, if the city could do this for me, on my survey, I have a part of it, maybe perhaps 6
Thank you.
feet.
No, because you and I talked about
Yeah,
this.
I would like to know exactly according to
property
what
line
you
is.
have on the property line.
Because I went out there and discussed this with her, and normally we have marking on the curbs almost everywhere in the city where a property line is. Just for purposes of anything else, it's
Yeah.
got an arrow. there's nothing there that indicates where the property line is. If we can, somehow within the city, if we can get a adjustment, I know we're not surveyors, but if we can figure it
Yeah.
out, that'd be helpful.
It would be very helpful, because if the trees are on the line, I guess I could check with the lawyer, because I would bring them down myself and pay for them myself. They are, if you go, 202 East Walton is my house. It's pitiful, the debris and stuff leaning toward my house. I would really, this has been a long time, perhaps 2 years. And I think it's time not to keep saying, well, 30 days, 20 days, whatever. I think it's time for action. So I would appreciate anything that you would do. Or even if you would mark off that spot, because I know what my survey says, but I don't want to do that on my own. I would like the city. I am used to following orders. And I would like the city to say where they say the border is.
And I'm not talking like getting it surveyed. I'm saying
No.
if we have any type of, it's right by a utility line. So if we know which side of the utility lines, we could just mark that on the curbing is all I'm
Correct.
asking.
Correct.
That would help.
Okay, very good. I really, really appreciate what you could do. Thank you.
June 13th though, please.
June 13th,
Please be here to voice your
9 o'clock.
concerns on it. Thank you, Ms. Parks. All right, anybody else who'd like to come speak? Okay, we'll move on. Next will be Board of Alderman comments.
Just a quick shout out to everybody that came to the Tribute to Veterans Memorial and the Charters of Freedom. It was a great day and a great turnout. Thank you.
It was a great day.
Beautiful day.
Next will be the request for road closures on June 30th for the Warren County Fair Parade. I think this is pretty standard. They ask every year. I don't think there's any changes, probably for the next two things that we're going to request. But if you have questions, you can ask. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the road closures for June 30th for the Warren County Fair Parade.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Romaker. Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. And again, the request for exemption from time constraints for loud noise on the Warren County Fair. This is something they've asked for several years now, and we usually grant it, but
Do we put a limit on it at all? Is there a
I think it's till midnight.
midnight?
Yeah, it's usually at 10,
Oh,
but they
okay.
extend
I
it by
see.
2 hours.
Yes, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the exemption for the time constraint for loud noise for the Warren County Fair.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Corder, second by Alderman Schultz. Roll call vote.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Next will be the new managing officer for the Elks Lodge liquor license located at 1101 East Veterans Memorial Parkway. Anybody have any questions on that? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor license for the Elks Lodge.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Corder, second by Alderman Schultz. Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Next, we'll hear from City Administrator Brandy Walters.
Good evening. The first thing that I have for you tonight is just to let you know that we currently have at least one opening on the park board. So if you have anybody that's interested in joining that board, please send us their name either to Melody or myself, so that way we can get that filled. And then I just have a couple dates for you. You guys have been invited to the Chamber of Commerce to attend that Spectrum's broadband internet service activation, and that is in Wright City on June 14th from 12 to 1:30 at the Lodge at Dover Place. And then you've also been invited to the Warren County Economic Development Council's Cocktails and Conversations, which is on June 25th and that's from 5 to 6:30 at Renaissance Wine Garden in Forestell. If you want to just let me know, I can RSVP for either one of those for you. That's all I have.
What time was both of them?
The first one, the Chamber of Commerce one, that one is from 12 to 1:30 on June 14th, and that's at the Lodge at Dover Place. The second one, which is the Cocktails and Conversations, is June 25th from 5 to 6:30.
Okay, I'll let you know. I think I'll have an answer right now. I'll have to check a lot of things. Any other questions for Brandy? All right, next we'll hear from Finance Officer Megan Welder.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have the financials for the period ending April 2024. A lot of similar trends from last month to this past month. For sales tax, we're continuing to see a slight increase. General fund, about $57,000, $15,000 in the transportation fund, and $34,000 in the interchange fund. We're over anticipated revenue in the other category, mainly due to the sale of the the house on Willow Road. Water and sewer were over expected revenues by $196,000, and that's attributed to the industrial sewer for $71,000, $75,000 in sewer connection fees, and then $8,000 in connection fees, $23,000 in sewer receipts, and $17,000 in water service fees. On to expenses. Again, we're a lot of the same trends here, under budget in most categories. Wages for police is under budget, and it's $26,000 due to health insurance, fuel, and vehicle repairs and maintenance. Pool is under budget by $51,000 due to vacant positions and under on chemicals and repairs and maintenance year to date. Grounds and maintenance under budget $45,000 due to timing on seasonal work positions, as well as vehicle repairs and maintenance. Water, we're under $56,000 from budget due to salaries and related expenses due to vacant positions. Under in fuel and electric and gas, as well as vehicle and repairs and maintenance. Lastly, sewer, we're under $66,000 from budget for salary and related expenses due to a vacant position, and also under budget on gas and electric and consulting engineering expenses and pump repairs. Does anyone have any questions?
I believe I do. Does anybody else? Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Aquatics Director Lisa Kramer.
Good evening. You have my aquatic report in front of you. A few highlights are for the month of May, we had 2,805 people come through the doors for the month. We sold 36 new memberships, renewed 6, and registered 36 Silver Sneakers and Renew Active memberships. This is a total of 9 more memberships compared to this time last year. Our swim lessons will start next week. We have 88 participants signed up, not including the campers from Wesleyan Kitty College that'll be taking swim lessons on Fridays. We taught our Safety Around Water program to the Warrenton Care Days again this month. We have another lifeguard class starting this weekend. We have 3 new guards supposedly in the class, and 2 guards that have been with us for 2 years that need to get recertified. So hopefully we'll have some more staff, although we still could use 3 or 4 more guards to keep everything moving forward. And the outdoor pool has been open since Memorial Day. We've been really busy. However, someone brought in a tempered glass mask to the pool and dropped it, and it shattered on the pool deck and got into the pool. And the only way you can get glass out of a pool is to drain it. So we are in the process of draining the pool, refilling it, and we are crossing our fingers and hoping that we will be able to open it early part of next week so that we can get swim lessons started. Other than that, we are open every day now from 12 to 6. Are there any questions?
No. Appreciate it. No, I don't believe so. Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Ground Maintenance Director Justin Knoll.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have our report for the month of May. A couple highlights that we had. We hosted another 4 tournaments at the sports complex, roughly 26 teams in each of those tournaments. They'll have another 4 booked out for this coming month, or this month. Spring soccer season wrapped up on the 18th and 19th. Had a lot of positive feedback on the field conditions and stuff for the year, and overall pretty decent weather. We completed our first round earlier in May of the street easements and stuff like that, the right-of-ways along South and North 47, and we're starting that process over again down Water Street, South 47, all those side streets. We completed the cemetery trimming and stuff for Memorial Day. I think that looked really nice. If you guys made it by the cemetery and had the military flags out and stuff on the day, it turned out really nice. We also had 11 pavilion rentals for last month. We also, noting that we have 22 booked up for June. I think a lot of that contributes to the social media side, advertising the pavilion rentals and stuff. This weekend we have the Elks Lodge hosting their fishing derby up at Binkley Woods, so check that out if you're not too busy. And also next weekend we'll have our second concert in the park on June 14th from 7 to 9, and that band is the New Crime Theater Band.
New Crime Theater Band.
That's about it.
Are we adding fish to the Binkley Pond every once in a while?
Yes, each year just before the fishing tournament, Nemo Fishery and Bait bring up a truckload of fish. Okay, we split that cost with the Elks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Justin. Next, we'll hear from Public Works Director, Guy Jeevers.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You had my monthly report. Couple highlights. We had 5 water shutoff repairs, 2 water main repairs, and a fire hydrant repair. And you can tell when things are kind of getting busy around. We had 225 locates. A lot of them are dealing with the highway, so they get a lot of locates. See where everything's at. They're drawing it up for the highway. Couple high points is they're working on the sewer main down by the school. They get a bunch of material in that delivered, and it's sitting there. Part of that road is closed, but there is a detour to get around it. The detour is pretty easy to follow. They're paving up on Boone Slick. Right now they got some driveway approaches tore out, and they're doing them, and they're doing some of the street cuts. I mean, they tore some of it out today and it started raining, so but they got plates for the driveway so people can get in and out. They're getting the curve and that set on Veterans and getting that in place, and they're getting ready to start on the sidewalk itself. Questions on anything?
I believe I do. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Thank you, Guy. I'll entertain a motion to close the regular Board of Alderman meeting.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Corder, second by Alderman McCollum. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed, say nay. We are so adjourned. Thank you.